Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Steiny5843 here, and I don't really do many of these talking type videos, but I figured I'd get my idea out there. So, I think it's a pretty unique idea, so I'm going to start talking about it. So, I'm going to talk about bleeding and adrenaline. Currently, the only thing bleeding does in Path of Titans is just stop you from healing. Now, I don't know if the devs plan to do something with bleed, but here's what I think would be a very cool and adds a different and interesting aspect to fighting. So I think that bleed should have a little more effect than just stopping healing. I think that if a considerable amount of blood is lost, then you should weaken, like making you a tad bit slower and a tad bit less damage infliction overall just makes you a little bit weaker, or maybe even faint if they lose enough blood. You know, that's what happens to us as humans or other animals when they lose a good amount of blood. Now, I know you're thinking, well, that's just gonna play right into the bleeders, making them OP. Well, that's where the adrenaline comes in. When you get bit and engage in combat, your adrenaline starts pumping and your dino gets pumped up, making the bleed debuff take a little bit longer to affect. Maybe even negate the effect until it wears off. Now, what if you're still in a fight and your adrenaline runs out? Well, first of all, that would take a little while because adrenaline doesn't just go away in the midst of combat. But if it does run out, then well, you will probably die. And also, not everything has to be about the fighting. If you choose to stay and fight, you can die. But you can use the adrenaline to your advantage to run away and hide. And also, I think the adrenaline should buff your speed just a tad bit to promote that, you know, because let's say if a carnivore is coming at a herbivore, herbivore isn't just going to stay there and fight most of the time. They're probably going to try and run away. And with that adrenaline, it gives them the extra oomph to actually get away from what's trying to kill them. So another thing, let's say if you are a herbivore or a carnivore and you win that fight, but you lose a good amount of blood, you would need to rest your energy to regain all that from the really exhausting fight. You don't see animals in the wild rushing to get in all these fights all the time, do you? I mean, I don't. Only thing I see getting in the fights all the time is a damn honey badger, and that's a madman of an animal. But, yeah, that's what I think. I think that would add a really different aspect to the game, you know, add a certain realism that I think most dinosaur games do not have. Most, like, you know, wildlife games do not have. And even if the devs don't want to put this in the game, you know, any modders watching this video, you know, like, hey, like, just take the idea. You know, like, I want this in the game, however it can get into the game, you know. That's all I care about. I just want to play with this. Yeah, and that's what I think that would add such a nice realism to the game. But, also another thing. Only 1.7% of you that watch my videos are subscribed to me. So if you found this video, you know, helpful at all, or you like the idea, the aspect, I've learned, like, drop a like, maybe drop a subscribe. It'll help me a lot. It'll give me a lot more motivation to make better videos. But, yeah, thank you for watching, and all of you have a wonderful day. Stay easy.